All right, show me the money. NFL picks for Week 13 here on the podcast. Thanksgiving week is here, and very thankful to be joined by my guest this week. One of my co-hosts over at the Sky Guys podcast, Nick Fraietta, is with us. Nick, welcome. How are you?
Doing great. Haven't been on for picks this year. Haven't been on since late last year, so excited to be back for picks.
Yeah, usually once a year you pop through, so we just happen to we're just a little inside baseball. We're actually recording a Sky Guys podcast for next week after this one, so we just figured let's just knock out two birds with one stone.
That's right.
Yeah,
You
and
already got me, so might
yeah.
as well use me.
Yeah, absolutely here. And we got a interesting Giant game here. Obviously, they tried to pull out all the bag of tricks. They had two successful trick play touchdowns against the Lions on Sunday. They end up losing the game in overtime here. Like it was very frustrating game where they get down in position to trustly go for the tying touchdown, but Aiden Hudson runs through and sacks Winston on fourth down to end the game. What was you guys watching that game?
There's no reaction. It's expected. They're up. Doesn't matter how much they're up, how much time is left. You know they're going to lose.
The
It's
tease
just
didn't bother you?
par for the course this season.
Yeah. They teased you though. They were competitive most of the way through, then they found a way to lose the game.
Yeah, this is not the first time they've done that this year. This is like the fifth time they've done that this year.
Yeah, I believe it's
So,
the fifth time already this year they've blown a 10-point lead on the road.
yep, it's
Yeah.
not surprising. It is interesting that they're all on the road.
Yeah.
I guess there is a correlation there with the kids being on the road, but they also blew the game versus Packers and that was at home too. So it's just they're just blowing every game they can. It's somewhat encouraging because they are in the games and they're playing well enough to have won the game, but they're blowing it and losing.
Yeah, I mean, it's bad when you have Malik Neighbors. I know he tweeted us and deleted, basically accused the Giants of tanking by saying, like, what are we doing here? Why are we not running the ball? Like, why are we not kicking the field goal to, like, make them go down and get a touchdown here? Like, I don't think they're actually tanking. It's just bad coaching from Kafka there and bad decision making.
Yeah, I mean I agree with the decision to go for it there. If they kick the field goal, they lose by one. Everyone knows that.
Yeah.
There's no way they would have won that game had they kicked that field goal. Just as there was no way if they would have won that game if they didn't get the fourth down conversion. The only way to win that game was to convert on fourth down. They knew that. They made the right call. It didn't work. They lost.
Yeah. What
But,
about this other point about why aren't we running the football to run clock? I mean, at least burn timeouts.
but yeah, that's it's possible. I don't really think they're tanking. They're just trying to be aggressive to win the game. But why would he tank? Like he's coaching for his job. It doesn't make any sense. Like it makes zero sense. Kafka will not be the coach next year. But if they were to win this game and get something going and win some games and end the season with like 5 or 6 wins, he could be the coach next year. So to say that he's tanking on purpose makes zero sense. If you want to say that organization may be tanking, you have maybe something from ownership saying to tank. Sure, there's no way the coach is tanking the games.
Yeah, he's not. And obviously, they made another coaching move this week. Shane Bowen gets fired after the performance on Sunday here. Can't say I'm surprised because the Giant defense was abysmal this year.
No, yeah, it has been. If anything, he should have been the first one let go
Yeah.
even before Dayball. But I think what they were trying to do, they were going to let him go on Black Monday regardless, and this was more of just a. You think we can just squeeze the season out of him, and now it's like it's inexcusable. It's not defensible anymore. Like the fan base won't stand for it. You have to do it. They didn't want to fire everyone, which I get because someone has to coach the team. You
Yeah.
still have games to play this season. You still need some coaches. I get it. And he was one of the guys they were planning on keeping until Black Monday, but now their hands were tied. They had to let him go.
Yeah, I think I agree with that here. Plus, I do feel like the time to fire Shane Bowen was after the Denver game. The fact they didn't do
Yep.
that was a mistake.
Yeah, I agree. I think he should have been let go before Dayball, and then maybe I don't know. Is that can Dayball make that decision when
Sure,
he's in
sure
that?
it can.
Yeah, he should have did that. I don't really know why he didn't.
Yeah, I feel like that's like a bullet he had in the chamber he didn't use, which I like that would have been
Yep.
like, like the last. I mean, he had a couple bullets in his chamber, which is one going to dart, which he did.
Yep.
And when the defense chokes a game like that, we heard the rumors that they were ready to fire him off the plane. They didn't do that. Like at that point, you can say, look, this is unacceptable. Like we had Brian Burns on the field screaming, like, why are we only rushing three in a prevent situation? Like, why that's with the spot to let Bowen go. They didn't do it.
Yeah, they should have did it then. Maybe I really doubt it, but maybe it could have saved Dayball's job. At the very least, it would have just been better for the team. But they didn't, and here we are.
We are here, and we get the final primetime game for the Giants this season on Monday night, wrapping up Thanksgiving week against the Patriots here. And this is a spot where, like, I think you're hoping you're a Giant fan, you get to watch Jackson Dart play in this game, and hopefully he's out of concussion protocol by that point. But any hope here of pulling an upset in this game because like New England has suffered a bunch of offensive line injuries.
Not really much hope, but then again, like there wasn't really hope that they would beat the Lions, and they almost did. There wasn't any hope they'd beat the Packers, they almost did. There was no hope they were going to beat the Eagles, they did. There was no hope that they were going to beat the Denver, they almost did. Like it's so I guess it's safe to say you never know.
I think the one thing you watch if you're a Giant fan is like New England's offensive line is taking a lot of hits. I know they lost their left tackle for a few weeks. They have a couple other linemen hurt. Like, and the Giants' strength is the pass rush here. So, like, if you want to make things interesting, that's the way to do it.
Yeah, I wish, the pass rush is their strength, but I also feel like their pass rush is not as good as it should be.
Yeah.
I feel like they have the names for it, and I know there's a lot going on in the media between Dexter Lawrence, Abdul Carter, Carl Banks, all going back and forth on one another. He's calling out the players, and for Abdul, at least, like I keep hearing, well, he's not doing it on the stat sheet, but he's really impacting games, and that's great. But as a third overall pick, I want to see both.
Yeah. I think I
I want
saw,
to see you impacting games and showing up on the stat sheet.
yeah, because I saw, I think you look at it, it's like he has like a very high number of pressures, like, which is not really measured on the stat sheet, but he's not
Hmm.
finishing.
Yeah, and that's great. Don't get me wrong. I love that he's getting a lot of pressures and he's opening the door for Burns to have the season that he is. But I want to see both if you're the third overall pick.
Yeah. That would be nice.
Yeah, so you know that's the least of their problems right now is that their pass rush isn't good enough. And they're probably their biggest problem I would say is the secondary, but I'm sure there are plenty other things they could fix as well.
Yeah, there is. And since you're the schedule guy with me, like I think we should take a detour for the picks and talk about some holiday schedule here because like the NFL Thanksgiving slate, like between the three games on Thursday, Black Friday, is stellar. Because I mean, you
Oh
got
yeah.
Lions, Packers, NFC North like grudge match early. Got the resurgent Cowboys taking on the Chiefs in a game that might set the viewership record for the single season. You have the nightcap, which is the Ravens trying to get control of the NFC North against Joe Burrow in his return, which is gives that game more juice. And then you got Bears Eagles division leader showdown Black Friday. This is fantastic.
It really is. The only way that these games could have been better is if those two night games were flipped on who was home versus who
Yeah.
was away to make them a little bit closer because they are both touchdown spreads.
Yeah.
But they're still great games. Like Joe Burrow's return, that's a huge game. The Bears, oh look, the Bears are 8-3. The winner of this game is in firm control of the number two seed in the NFC.
Yeah.
So that is really, really something.
It's a fantastic slate, and like it aged much better than the Christmas slate did.
It did, and it also, when you looked at this slate from the beginning of the season, you liked it.
Yeah.
You did, and it held up. You didn't love that Friday game because I guess people weren't that high on the Bears, but they've surprised a lot of people. And like I said, those Thanksgiving games, when the schedule came out in May, I'm sure we said they look great, and they still do.
Yeah, they still do. And compared to Christmas, like which we have Lions Vikings where JJ McCarthy looks lost. That's a problem for one of the games. And then the other Netflix game, Commanders Cowboys, and the Commanders fell apart. So like that's two issues here. And I think Netflix is praying Jaden Daniels comes back by that game.
Yeah, like I always say this, the only saving grace in these games are those two specifically are the worst team is home
Yeah.
and their division games. So you really never know in like a division road game for some of these better teams. So it's still not looking good.
Hey, Prime Video worked out well. They got Chiefs Broncos at the nightcap.
Yeah, that's a good one. Did they play last year on Christmas?
Ooh, the Chiefs? Yes.
Did they play the Broncos?
No. They were in that Raven Steeler Texan like jumble thing that they did where they had the doubleheader on Saturday and they played each other on Wednesday.
Hmm. Okay. I remember. I'm thinking of another holiday. I thought I remember Denver playing.
They did it in 22, like the year that they got Russell Wilson and got like smoked by the Rams. And
Oh,
it was terrible.
they were not very good. I
Yeah.
hear.
Yeah, that game still drew a ton of viewers on CBS. I think it was like 45 million viewers to watch that game.
Well, yeah, to your point, that Chiefs Cowboy game is probably it's going to be ridiculous, the viewership, huh?
They put that game there to try and set the single regular season game viewership record.
You think they can do it?
I think they can do it. There's a lot of storylines. I think now that Dallas is resurging.
Yeah, it's a good game. I mean, your Dallas is a 500 team. They're a good home team.
Yeah.
Chiefs are 6-5, right in the mix. They're kind of their backs are kind of against the wall, or if they lose a game, they could fall out of it. But as long as they keep winning, they should be okay. So this is a really important game for both teams.
Yeah, the Chiefs being in trouble, I think, is very important to that game, having a big
Oh
number
yeah,
because like if the Chiefs are like 9-2, it's not as interesting as the Chiefs are 6-5 because they have to win this game to like keep pace. They're not in the playoff picture either of these teams right now.
100%. Yeah.
All right, let's get to the picks, which is the reason why you're here. Tom Bacchino is the co-host of the Starting Rep podcast. Our friend Will Smith's cousin. He came by to do the picks last week. He went 1-2 on the week. Yeah, the Texans +6 on Thursday night. They won outright against the Bills. He took the point and a half with the Saints. They lost outright, so lost there. Yeah, the Seahawks laying 13.5 in Tennessee, and that game was much tighter than we expected. So 1-2 for Tom.
Seahawks one was a bad beat. He had it won, and then it like kind of fell apart at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, and your Ravens one was I don't know. There's something wrong with them.
Yeah. So
As
I
long as
was
they're winning, I don't think they care, but there's something wrong with them.
Yeah, I was 2-1 on the week. I had the Texans, was a family play with Tom. We nailed that one together on Thursday. Ravens laying 13.5. They won by 13. So I was 1 point off of completing the sweep again. And the Rams -7 was a lock with how injured the Bucks were. And then Baker Mayfield get hurt in the game, basically iced that.
Yeah, they also have not looked very good. Their offense has been pretty anemic, honestly.
As I said last week, too many injuries for Tampa.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So 2-1 on the week for me last year. Challengers as a whole, they're 13-23 this year. It's not been a good run for
You're
them.
having a great season, 22-14, huh?
Yeah, I've been clicking for a little bit right now. I
That's
think I have
great.
1-3 in there. So like take that out, like 22-11 the other weeks.
That's great.
Yeah. So basically averaging a 2-1 every week. So let's see if we can keep the trend going here. And Nick, as the guest, you can go first. So where are you going with pick one?
All right, pick one. I'm going to take my New York Giants. Let me ask you this. If I told you a 2-10 team was playing on the road against a 10-2 team, what would you guess the spread would be?
I would say it's probably something like, like 11 points.
I would say somewhere between 11 and 13. This is only 7.5. I think that's telling to the Giants and how they can stay in games. And I think they're going to do it again. They're going to tease us till the end, find a way to lose the game, and we're going to look back on it on Monday and say, how did they possibly lose that game?
Yeah. I love you got the hook. I think it's fantastic. And as I said before, we were previewing the game earlier. The Patriot offensive line injuries are a big deal. And they are, a team that, is really looking ahead to some of these games they have coming up here. They have games with the Colts coming up. They have a game with the Bills coming up. It's going to be huge. Could ice the division for them. This could be a look ahead spot. We don't take the Giants that seriously. They should.
Yeah. Like I said, though, they always find a way to keep it close and lose it anyway. So see if the streak continues.
All right, let's pick one. We're going to pick two.
Pick two, I'm going to go to the best team in the NFL, the Rams.
Yep.
Uh, for full disclosure, we're recording this before the Panthers play on Monday night. So who knows? Maybe they win by 100 against the Niners, and then I feel stupid about this. But I don't care what their record is. I think the Panthers suck. I think they're one of the worst teams in the NFL. They're going to win their division somehow because of how hurt Tampa is, and I still think they're one of the worst teams in the NFL.
Yeah, so this is
And the Rams are, I think, the best team in the NFL, and we saw that on display fully last night, and I think that's going to continue.
this is an anti-Panther pick.
Oh yeah, and I think, and like I said, I think the Rams are the best team in the NFL.
Yeah, the Rams, I love this spot here. Carolina is in the mix. The NFC's out because of how hurt Tampa is, and they played them twice down the stretch. But Bryce Young against that defense, not a good spot.
I don't think so.
All right, we're going to pick three.
The last pick, I think, is the sucker bet of the week. I'm taking the Colts -4.5, and I think if you look at this at a zoomed out perspective, you say, "Well, the Texans just beat the Bills, and now they have 10 days of rest." And the Colts just didn't really do that well offensively against New England. They only scored 20 points. Maybe they're slowing down. That's exactly why I'm taking the Colts. I've noticed with Indy, I don't know if this is a real trend that's going around. When they're indoors and or at home, their offense is unstoppable.
Yes.
When they're outside, which that Pittsburgh game, that international game against Atlanta, the game against Kansas City, their offense is a little slowed down. They're back inside. By the way, the Colts have yet to play the Texans or the Jaguars.
Yep.
They have 4 games left against those. So if they can take care of business there, they can solidify themselves as the champs of that division. If they don't, that division's wide open. But I think this is Sucker bet. I think a lot of people are going to take Houston because of the way the trend is, but I think that's the perfect reason to buy Indy. And the spread agrees with me. This went from 3.5 to 4.5 in the last 12 hours.
Yeah. I like this pick too. I feel like that was going to be a game where Shane Steichen learned his lesson of not getting away from Jonathan Taylor because that really cost them the end of the Chief games. They threw 8 straight times in the fourth quarter, couldn't complete the pass here. I think it's a Jonathan Taylor gets 25 carries and like 7 receptions kind of game and gets over a buck 20 from scrimmage for 2 touchdowns. And the Colts win running away.
The only thing that's still a question in this game, I don't know what the status of CJ Stroud is.
Yeah, he's been constant throw ball for a bit.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to change the number too much because of the way the Texans run their team. It's basically just our defense is incredible, and we'll see if we can maybe score a touchdown, and that should be enough.
Yeah, that's your picks are on the board. I'll go ahead now. Pick one. We'll go to Black Friday. We'll start there. We'll go with the Eagles laying 6.5 against the Bears here. As much as you said you're of an anti-Panther pick, this is an anti-Bear pick. I do not think Chicago is that good. If you look at the numbers closely, Caleb Williams is incredibly inconsistent. He gets an Eagle defense pissed off after they blew the Cowboy game on Sunday. They're going on the road for this game. Philly will go hard to stop the running game. You're not going to get a big DeAndre Swift or Kyle Moning guy effort here. I think the Eagles just, assert themselves here, give Chicago a reality check and say, hey, you're not up in the top tier contenders with us and the Rams and the Lions and the Packers here. I think this is a life lesson for the Bears in this game. So I will lay the points to the Eagles, pick one.
I'm with you on the anti-Bears train. I don't think they're a bad team, but they're not an 8-3 team. Like that's crazy. They're playing way out of their minds on that. The Eagles, though, that offense has got to get going. It's one thing if it's week 3 and the offense isn't going, but week 13 and it's still not going. Something's crazy here. Something's wrong.
Yeah, that's pick one. Pick two. I'm going to my team getting 2.5 points at home against Atlanta. And Atlanta, I know they just won a game against the Saints. They're still mathematically alive in the South, even though they got swept by the Panthers and have lost the Bucks here. This is a spot where I look at Atlanta. They've been slumping hard. They're going north in the cold. It's going to be about 40 degrees on Sunday. I know they run the ball, but they don't. They tend to get past whack at Kirk Cousins here. The Jets are playing hard. Tyrod looked more confident running the offense than Justin Fields ever did. This is a spot where the Jets are going to go in here, get this game. Atlanta's on no part of being outside in this weather, and the Jets will just put up a good effort, win the football game outright. I'll take the 2.5 points to boot. Give me the Jets here.
This was my 4th pick if I had one, and I was going to be with you on that. But I was going to take the Jets as well, so I love it. I love the pick for all the reasons you said.
Yeah, because this is like I circle on the calendar. Once I saw Atlanta started going here, I'm like, cold weather team going north slumping. They never play well.
Oh yeah, and they're spiraling out of control. They only got to win because they played one of the only teams that you could possibly find is worse than them right now.
Yep. That's pick two. Pick three. I'll go to Sunday night. I'll lay the 6.5 with the Broncos against Washington. Both teams off a bye, so they have an equal rest advantage here. I do not like what I'm seeing out of Washington here. They're just very injured. This is one of those years where it's just like everything that can go wrong has gone wrong. And people are, sleeping on Denver still, even after the Chief game here. This is one of the best defenses in football. They'll have Pat Surtain back in theory here. Defense travels well. I don't see Washington scoring more than 10 points on that Denver defense. And Denver's offense will put up points on the Washington defense. This is, I feel like, it's got like 27-7 written all over to me. And it's a shame that it was Thanksgiving week. They couldn't flex the game out because they really had few options to go to here with how spread out the schedule is. This is going to be a bloodbath. So give me the Denver here to wrap the week.
Yeah, I mean, for everything that went right for Washington last year, and every bounce, every drop pass against them, everything has gone the opposite this year. The disaster of a season for them. I'm sure they're going to pack it in. I know we mentioned Jaden Daniels coming back maybe for that Christmas game.
Yeah.
They might just tell him, sit down, dude. It's over.
Yeah, and think about the poor NFL schedule. Guys who bet heavily on Washington, all these primetime games. They have the standalone Saturday doubleheader, week 16. They have the Christmas game. Like, this is a bad return on investment for the NFL schedule.
Oh, yeah. And it's not even just Jaden Daniels, too. Terry McLaurin's been out basically all season. He's played like 2 or 3 games all year. It's just been a disaster of a season. Everything that could have went wrong, went wrong. And not to mention, they are the oldest team in the NFL.
Yeah, that's not a good combination.
No.
All right, so to reset the picks for week 13 here, Nick has gone with the Colts laying 4.5 against the Houston Texans. The Rams laying 10 against the Panthers, and his Giants getting 7.5 on Monday night against the New England Patriots up in Foxborough. My picks: Black Friday, Eagles laying 6.5 against the Bears. The Jets 2.5 point home dogs to get the pull the upset against Atlanta, and Denver on Sunday night laying 6.5 on the road in Washington. Those are your picks for Week 13. That's it for the picks this week. Coming up next week, one of our good friends, Will Smith, will be stopping by to talk some Cowboys. That big Lion game next week.
Will made it further than any of us in our survivor pool. Unfortunately, he did not make it to the end. So I hope he's doing well.
Yeah, he's definitely feeling good that his Cowboys seem to have like revitalized their season.
Yeah, it seems like I don't know. They're a very inconsistent team, but no, they're it's the offense is good, defense stinks kind of thing. But they got time here. They have 5 losses and a bunch of games to go. Win
Yeah,
as many as you can. See if you can get in.
if they could split these two, the Chief and Lion game, their schedule eases up significantly down the stretch.
That's great for them. They got to play the Eagles against once more. I'm assuming, right?
No, they're done because remember they played opening
Well,
night.
I don't remember. I don't remember the first Eagle game.
It was opening night.
I'm assuming they lost. Oh, it was the first game of the year.
Yes.
Yeah, they almost won that, but they lost that. So yeah, they've actually played a lot of tight games. Really, I feel like a lot of people look at Dallas and go, "Oh, they stink."
Yeah.
I
So
don't really think they do.
the rest of the way for Dallas after that Lion game, Minnesota at home, which we know they have not played well. Another one of these teams that the luck has gone the other way, although their quarterback change play a part in that. They have the Chargers, who are very banged up as is. They go to Washington, they go to the Giants.
Yeah. Oh, that's it. You know that. You know that game though. That's the classic. Giants are in position for that first overall pick, and then Drew Lock signs a contract and somehow wins the game.
Yeah. You think
Oh,
it's like a Jake Jackson Dart is injured again, and Jameis Winston just wins to ruin your draft
just
position?
wins the game and knocks them down to the 5th pick. Not that they would use the first pick on a quarterback or anything, but it's always nice to have that higher selection so you can get more assets if you trade it or whatever.
Or get a better young player.
Yeah. And depending on what they decide to draft, I don't really know. And I feel like you could definitely trade that pick with how
Yeah.
many needs they have. But either way,
Yeah, absolutely. Nick, thanks for all the time. Really appreciate it. People give us over the Sky Guys podcast. Want to give people have not tuning in what we're up to right now.
we are going over the Family Guy parody episodes. There are
Yes.
3 of them based on the original trilogy movies, and we're going through each of them individually. It's been a good time.
Yeah, Empire is out in the podcast feed now over there. If you were up to it the date on listening to this, we're recording the Return of the Jedi one. It's a trap tonight, so that will be out in your feeds next week if you're a Sky Guys follower.
Yeah, excited to talk about it.
Yeah, people want to follow the Sky Guys podcast. How do they do that?
They can follow at Sky Guys Podcast all over social media.